I'm with Carole Feuerman, and as you can see, she has very distinctive artwork. Carole, this is so interesting. It's swimmers. Why swimmers?
Well, I can relate to swimming and swimmers. It was a turning point in my life. I was illustrating and painting, and then one day I saw a swimmer coming out of the water, and I related to her. I felt that I was that swimmer, and I started making swimmers.
Really? Now, what are they made out of?
These are made out of epoxy, and many of my swimmers are made out of bronze, and they're painted to look real.
Now, how long have you been doing this?
I've been doing this more than 50 years to become an overnight success.
An overnight success, right. Now, you have a statue here of a woman laying down. It's like she's on a float,
yes,
right?
She's a pregnant woman. There are 2 outside the fair, and I have 9 monumental sculptures on Park Avenue, in Park Avenue between 34th and 38th, right on the divide.
Now, where is your studio? Where do you make these?
I have several studios. My main studios are in Brooklyn, and I have one in New York and one in Jersey City.
So let me ask you, what sizes do they come in? Because this one is almost life size.
This is
that one is petite. This one is in between.
And I have a mini this big called Miniature Kwan at the other booth. Bernard Markowitz has 2 booths.
Oh, so now you've also been in Venice, right?
Oh, I've shown in Champs-Élysées, Avenue George V, in China, in all over the world, in London, all over.
That's amazing. Now, do you have a website where people can follow you?
Yes.
Can you tell everybody what it is?
It's Carole at carolefeuerman.com, Carole with an E, and you can also find me on Instagram and TikTok and all the social media platforms, YouTube. Carole at carolefeuerman.com. Or if you can't remember, just Google my name, Carole Feuerman.
I really love your work. It's unique and it's feminine.
Thank you so much.
I'm here at the Hamptons Fine Art Fair with Debra Rothberg, who is a photojournalist and a lot of other things, and she's going to explain just who she is.
My name is Debra Rothberg. I'm a photojournalist here on the East End. I cover art, fashion, philanthropy, fabulousness for over a decade now. I first started with 25A magazine. Now it seems like I'm writing for a little bit everybody. I love what I do. I get to bring out the best in everybody, and I'm very dedicated to the arts.
Yes, you are. So Debra's husband is also an artist.
George Schulman, GeorgeSchulmanArtist.com.
Yes, so what do you think of this exhibit here?
Well, I've been part of Art Hamptons and now Hamptons Fine Art Fair since its inception. I'm very close with Rick Friedman. I feel like he's part of my family, and I'm very proud of everything that he's accomplished, and I'm also think it's always every year just as good as the next, if not better. He is able to showcase artists and galleries from all over the country and all over the world, and it's really very special. Everyone looks forward to it every year. It's not to be missed. It's all different ages, all different nationalities. Everyone from all over the world comes here. It's really an amazing opportunity for everyone to be seen and also to get dressed up.
And the work is so many different mediums,
so
you know.
Many. Like the piece that we have behind us is painted with inside of eggshells.
Eggshells under lucite.
Yeah, it's amazing. And we like it because it matched our outfits.
It's very colorful and cheerful, and we really like it. I don't know, what is the name of the artist? Let me take a peek here. Let me see. Sarafyan. Yes.
Sarafyan. She has a whole series here, and they're various colors with an abstract background. So they're very, very much like a garden, like a beautiful garden.
So, Debra, where can people find what you write about?
My Instagram and my Facebook handle is at Debra Rothberg, DebraRothberg. You can also find me in 25A Magazine, Metropolitan Manhattan and Palm Beach, Dance Paper, James Lane Post, and whoever else will have me.
Thank you, Deborah.
You're welcome. Thank you.
I'm with Catherine McCormick, who has some beautiful artwork in her gallery in Southampton. You have the most beautiful paintings here.
Thank you so much.
What is the name of your gallery?
The gallery is Fine Art in Southampton.
And where in Southampton are you located?
We're located at 4 North Main Street.
Okay, so now you have some paintings here. 3 are the ones behind us.
Yes.
The woman is getting an award, you were telling me?
Yes, it's an artist named Cornelia Foss. She's in her 90s. She still paints every day, incredibly prolific. And I really consider her sort of a quintessential Hamptons artist. She's been painting for over 60 years. She's been out here in the Hamptons and in New York City for the last 60 years.
Amazing.
And she does these beautiful landscapes.
Beautiful. Now, is that oil or a pastel? It looks almost like a mix.
Oil on canvas.
Oil on canvas. Okay. Now, would she come into a show like this, or it's too much for her?
She was on her way here tonight, but the traffic was so awful that
tell
they
me
turned
about
around.
Yes, the traffic was just awful.
She'll be here though on Saturday. They're inducting her into the Hall of Fame at 12 o'clock. And then we're also having a little brunch here on Sunday at 12
Exciting
o'clock.
for her.
Big
How
weekend.
exciting. That's good for her. So now, some of these other pieces, you have this pink floral.
Yes.
What artist is that?
That's an artist named Alyssa Monks.
Okay. Okay. Now, is that something she specializes in, florals?
I have a solo exhibition of her work right now. This is her most recent body of work,
Beautiful.
which are the florals. She's also very well known for women with water and in the shower, and she's really a master of this sort of give and take with the abstract and realist work combined. So it's
Really very good. So now, how many pieces at one time do you have in your gallery?
It depends on the artist and the size and the show. This current Alyssa Monks show, we have about a dozen pieces of hers.
Oh, okay. And so now you have one to the side here of the ocean. Who is that?
This one here?
Yes.
That's Susan Grossman, and that's a charcoal and pastel on paper.
That's quite large. Do you limit the size of the works that can go in your gallery?
So long as they can fit in the door. That's all.
You ship
We do ship.
Countrywide.
And we deliver locally, yes.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Do you have a website where people can reach you?
Yes, it's www.mmfineart.com.
A lot of talented people here. I am with George Schulman, who is a second generation abstract.
Expressionist.
There you go. So, and you said that your mentor was?
Knox Martin, Norman Lewis, Frank Roth, who was mentored by Hans Hofmann, which is a direct link to the abstract expressionists of the first generation. And I also partnered up at one time with Lee Krasner, who is the wife of Jackson Pollock, who was one of the original abstract expressionists. And I also got to meet Lee Krasner, who I worked for, who was then in the Hamptons, and I, of course, was in William de Kooning's studio, and Knox Martin showed at the Charlie Egan Gallery, who was my mentor from Yale. So I have a direct connection to the Hampton artists as well as first-generation abstract expressionists. Also, the painting that's behind me I connect with very readily because I now live in Patchogue, but I frequently draw my images from my connection to nature and the beach and the light that is on Long Island on the East End, which has a dramatic effect on my artwork.
Yeah. So tell everybody, what is an abstract expressionist?
An abstract expressionist is a direct descendant where it's a break away from traditional European art done in Europe and Picasso and the Cubists and Matisse, and it's a more linear, fluid application of paint and poetic in that it doesn't rely as much as on geometry, where it relies on color combinations and brush strokes, and also using the drip which Picasso kind of gave to the abstract expressionists, using the drip in making paintings, and which the armature for the work that Jackson Pollock eventually was doing with his paintings that were also influenced by Japanese painting.
Yeah. Now I've seen some of your work, and it's very colorful and modern. Is that what you? Am I right?
My grandmother, who raised me, made wedding dresses, and
Really?
so I'm a collector of both 5 generations of buttons as well as vintage fabric, and so I incorporate found objects as well as fabric as well as sewing to make my work, but it's also kaleidoscopic in nature, like a fan that fans out, where you see multiple images in the work, some of which you can draw directly from nature. And so my color is very open-ended. But another thing that has a interplay with what I do is, for a year I painted flowers and immersed the flower in a pot and would paint it. And so I relate to the Impressionists, and I relate to landscape painting, but I also now incorporate figures in my work. And so my work is directly borrowing from things that I see from art, meaning the story art begets art, and from art I make art. And so I look at the best art in the world in terms of reflective of modern masters and art that I've seen in Europe when I went to Rome. And so that had a major effect on my color and my use of color.
Yeah.
So I'm considered a master collagist, as well as the fact that I use color to create a very exciting mood in the painting, and I love color very much.
How many paintings would you say you have in your collection?
I'm very prolific, and in the last 3 months I've made 80 paintings. And I hope to show these works on one robin egg blue wall that I replicate, where it replicates Starry Night by Vincent van Gogh in terms of the configuration of the paintings on the wall. So it'll be an installation.
You work sometimes pretty quickly. What was the longest amount of time it took you to create one of your works?
30 years.
30 years.
I got a doll from an antique store as a present. I was gifted the doll, and the doll was made by a Holocaust survivor in Auschwitz, and he used to use this marionette to perform for the SS, and I inherited the doll.
Really?
And
I've heard of that.
And my grandparents were survivors of Auschwitz, and half were and half weren't. And so the point was, I made 300 paintings of the doll, and then I got a bell from a church and incorporated the bell, and I read Hemingway and Who the Bell Tolls, and my father was a World War II hero, and he's in the Smithsonian written about. And so the point was, historically, this doll and this heritage became a passion of mine, and so I kept repainting the painting, and then I cannibalized it and put it together after 30 years of several paintings to make one painting, and it was just shown at the Southampton Art Center.
Oh, good for you. That sounds so interesting.
Yeah, it's
wow.
and it's not only a terrific story, but heartfelt. And then I have to show it to the Jewish Museum where I had work shown previously, so that I can have it possibly put with the doll at the Holocaust Museum.
Oh, that would be wonderful.
Yeah, so
Really
my point
historic.
is not only historic, but there's a journey to the journey, and the more you make it about you and make it heartfelt and authentic, what happens is your public picks up on that,
Yes, they
that
do.
energy and interest,
That's true.
and it just doesn't become a illustration, but it becomes something heartfelt where it's made with your own hand and unique to you. Someone once asked me how you get good, and I said you've got to be passionate, you've got to put in the time, you've got to love it, and you've got to be willing to be uncomfortable, because I do my best work not only when I'm uncomfortable, but when I don't repeat myself.
This art fair is interesting, and it's amazing the different take people have as their art, right?
Well, it's not only that. There's a comment. You have to let the flower bloom and grow into your own skin and become who you are. And the bottom line and the nitty-gritty of it is it's all about telling the truth and being truthful. The more truthful you are and the more they're about you, the better they get, because we're all unique individuals and have our own story. Them to enjoy it.
That's a good way to look at it. Is there a website where people can contact you or see? Do you have any of your work online?
Well, my email is georgeschulman, artist@gmail.com, and they can pick up not only my artwork, but my partner at Deborah Be The Buzz, and we have a loft in Patchogue, and Deborah.
Here with me now is an artist who has some beautiful work in glass. I'm with Abby Modell. Abby, this is sensational.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here. This is an amazing show in the Hamptons. We hope that everybody can come here over the weekend. This is a new collection of mine. I blow glass, and I also do hand-applied glass on flat pieces. I have wall installations, I have pieces of sculptural work, and I also have some lighting at the show.
Yes, so what made you, you actually blow glass, like when you go to Disney and you see the man that blows glass, you blow this?
Yes, I'm a glass blower, and I've perfected a new technique in working with glass, which you can see right behind us. And this is blown glass that is broken. It's put onto this piece of mirror, one piece at a time by hand. So these pieces take months to make.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
Now, it's colored. You get it colored, and then you break it, and then you assemble it.
It's called fire polishing after you break it. So it goes into an oven, it gets baked, and then it's soft, so you can actually touch it.
Really?
And you could
You
run your
wouldn't
hand
get
over
hurt.
it. Nothing, yeah. So in these pieces,
Oh, yeah,
I
it's smooth. It's
yes,
smooth.
so I put all the glass into it, and I also put thousands of Swarovski crystal mixed with it, and I also use a lot of mirror in my work to reflect the surroundings.
How long would something like that take?
About 4 months.
4 months.
Yeah,
for one
a long
piece.
time, yeah.
So now, I would imagine that your house has a lot of beautiful decor like this.
I have my favorite pieces in my house,
Now,
but
is there a name for it other than saying it's blown glass?
no, not that I'm aware of.
No?
It's an ancient tradition that's been going on for thousands of years, and it hasn't changed. So
Oh, it's really amazing. Now you have pieces over here that it's almost like a pillow with glass attached. I'll move the camera. Maybe we can show it. Can you see it?
pieces over here. My collection is all about the galaxy. These pieces are called moon craters, and what it is a blown piece of glass. There's a hole in the back of it. There's a mirror solution that goes into the back of it, and it sticks to the glass. And then what I do is I use sandblasting over it to create this luster finish. I leave some of the mirrors shiny, and then the same technique that I did on those mirrors, I put over here. So this is all the hand-applied glass with a Swarovski crystal.
Now, how long have you been doing this?
I've been doing this for about 14 years.
14 years. So can you tell everybody where could they reach you if they'd maybe be interested in seeing something close up or purchasing something? How could they reach you?
You can look at my Instagram. It's at Abby Modell. I'm on Instagram, and you can also go to my website. It's abbymodell.com. I usually show my work at fine art fairs, and that's where my clients find me. So if you're here this weekend in the Hamptons, please come down. You can see the work in person. It's very exciting. I'm so happy to be here, and I'm happy to share my collection
It's
with
really
you.
beautiful. I mean, it caught my eye. I was walking by, and you can't walk by. You have to stop and talk to Abby because it is just really stunning, very stunning, beautiful.
Thank you so much for coming by. I loved meeting you.
Very creative
Oh,
artist,
thank you.
an artiste.
My name's Julie Keys, and I have the gallery Keys Arts in Sag Harbor, New York, next to the American Hotel.
I'm with Julie Keys, and she has a premier gallery. How are you? You have beautiful paintings here.
Thank you very much. Yes, we do have beautiful paintings.
And I see that one of your artists is up for an award.
Yes, Faye Lansner here is being inducted into the Hall of Fame, the Hamptons Art Fair Hall of Fame. So we're very excited, and she passed away in 2014.
Oh, so it's posthumously, as they say.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
All
so
the
now,
time.
how has COVID affected people buying art? Did that affect you at all?
Yeah, it was wild. It was great.
It was good.
Oh my God.
Because people were home and they were decorating?
Yep. People came out to the Hamptons. The prices of homes skyrocketed.
Yes, that's true.
And they redecorated at the speed of sound. And all of the other major galleries in the world moved here. Phillips, Christie's, Sotheby's, Pace, Scarstead. All these galleries moved here because they saw a great opportunity to sell more elevated value and elevated sophistication art, which in turn raised the brow of the art galleries that exist here.
I see.
Now,
And now, did the prices still say, I don't want to use the word inflated, but did they still remain high?
well, artists that make a certain price, it stays there. You know?
What makes a good artist?
A good artist, that's a good question. A good artist has a combination of education and passion. You can't have one without the other. You can't.
You have to be educated in it?
Yes, you do. 85% of the time, you've got to have some, at least art history knowledge to know what you're doing. You can be an uneducated painter who does depictions of what they're seeing, and they might hit it once in a while. But if you want to do abstract art, you better go to school. 100%.
And what about you? Were you an artist yourself?
Yes.
Because I was going to say, how did you get into the field?
I had a ceramic factory in
Really?
Marblehead, Massachusetts. And I was doing ceramics, and it would take me ages and ages to do these plates. And I started putting things on the walls. And this is after grad school. And all the things started selling on the walls, and it started realizing, wait a minute, this is a little easier.
Well, I'll tell you a funny story about ceramics. Years ago, I went with my husband to the Dominican Republic. And when we got there, we're walking with our luggage through the pool area to get to our hut or wherever it was that we were staying. And they were selling the most beautiful ceramic fruit. Glazed, big, in the local stores in New York, they would be very expensive, and they had these
Are
very
you sure
big.
of that? Just
Back
kidding.
then, they would have like horns of plenty with all the fruit. Beautiful. So I said to my husband, "Stop a minute. I want to get a piece." He goes, "We just got here. You'll get it tomorrow." So the next day I go looking for this ceramic fruit, and guess what? They're only there once a year. So what else do you like to do besides hang art on the wall?
I really do love selling art.
Do you have a website?
Yeah.
Tell everybody your website.
www.juliekeysart.com.
Beautiful.
And we have beautiful art, and we're in Sag Harbor, and most of the time we're kind of funny. We have a lot of fun.
Oh, you're in Sag Harbor?
Yes, right next to the American Hotel.
Thank you so much. Beautiful
Thank you.
artwork. Makes
Come to
everybody
Sag Harbor.
happy.
I want to say one more thing about Sag Harbor.
Yeah.
If you come to Sag Harbor, go to the church at the end of the road and see the art exhibition there. We happen to have one of the greatest art spaces done by Eric Fischel and April Gornick that you've ever seen. It's a great exhibit. The director, it's wonderful. Just go.
Okay, we're going to go. Thank you for watching.